Hey, Twisted listeners. I'm Cindy,
And I'm Diva
and this is Twisted Listers, a podcast about murder.
and Bliss.
And this is a new topic. It's a new list. This is
Yes.
motherfuckers who got found out. You got found the fuck out. You're cheating,
Yes.
and now you are dead. And that's terrible because whoever killed you is a psycho.
Yes.
But yeah, the ultimate price, paying the ultimate price for
Yes.
infidelity.
So it's people who got murdered in a way for cheating, although we don't want to condone the murder part. But
No.
oftentimes, though, it's people who get found out, or like they kill the wife to go be with the mistress. So that's like really common. But I wanted to kind of flip it and have the people who cheated get killed and like revenge.
Yeah, which is sad because cheating is terrible and you should never do it, but it's definitely not the type of thing you
Death
should get murdered
sentence.
for. Yeah. Although
No.
you're going to find a bunch of basement trolls online who would be like, he got what he deserved. And it's like, what? Like, you
Yeah.
really think that? Like, what?
Yeah.
People say the dumbest shit when they're not being like held to account. Anyway, so what do we want to talk about? Anything else? Anything important?
No.
No? Okay. I was just telling Diva after this, I'm going to go help my kid with Valentine's cards.
Very
Um,
cute.
yes. And we keep razzing him. We don't bring it up too much because I'm not trying to like in any way like pressure or freak him out. But every once in a while, like when Valentine's Day rolls around, we ask him, do you have a special like boy or girl you want to give your, Valentine's Day cards to?
Mm-hmm.
And his answer is always like a resounding no. Which is interesting
Mm-hmm.
because like I was boy crazy from like the time I can remember, and Rory was like the same with girls. And Ollie could not be less like us in that way. Like he does not have
Not
time.
interested.
No, he has a friend who told me he has
I
9
mean, he's so
girlfriends.
little. It
No,
could hit him later though. It's like he's
oh,
still young.
it will,
There's
but
still time.
it's just interesting that,
Yeah.
like I said, like he's got a friend who's like, I have 9 girlfriends, and Ollie's like, that sounds terrible. Like that sounds like a nightmare,
I don't think I got like that until I was like 12, until it was like 7th grade.
Yeah, I mean, for him, I'm sure once the hormones hit, he's going to be coming in hot. But for right now, he's just like,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not. He's got no interest, which is like great. I want him to be like the kid that is too interested in like riding his skateboard or like playing sports, to like give a fuck.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But in any case, we're gonna go fill out a bunch of Mario Valentine's cards, and then that's the
Very
end of my
perfect for
night.
him and his interests.
Yeah, yeah, and then he'll go right to bed because it's getting late. Anyway, all right. Should we talk
Yeah.
about this? Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking do it, dude. There was something else I wanted to talk about that was like true crime related. Oh my god. Here's what it is. There is a guy in Alaska, and he picked up a sex worker, and the sex worker stole the thing. Did I
Oh
send it
yeah.
to you?
You said that to me.
Yes, she
Yes.
stole a memory card out of his truck and like bailed out. She probably got like the heebie-jeebies and was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And when she looked on the memory card, it had a video of like a super brutal murder of another sex worker, and she turned it
That's
into
such
the
a random
police.
thing to do or to steal, but like, yeah,
I know,
oh,
it's like
that's wild.
the thing about stealing that is like the card itself is not valuable, but it might have like your bank information on it. Like you never know. So it's not like the worst
Yeah.
thing you could steal. I heard that, kitty. Um but anyway, I just that was the craziest. And then when they arrested the guy, he was like super proud, and he started like he admitted to a second murder that wasn't on record. So
Wow.
and they were both indigenous
He just
women.
went with it. He
Yeah.
was like, okay,
Yeah, so they were both
wow,
indigenous women that he murdered, which is super fucked. And he was like
it's fucked
very,
up.
very proud of it. He was very proud of killing them.
Wow.
Yeah, and
What a
apparently
piece
he's
of
like,
shit.
yeah, he's like South African, I guess. I don't know. I was just reading about this.
Okay.
So super fucking crazy. That's how they knew it was him. Cops knew it was him because they recognized his accent. I guess there's not a lot of people with his accent where he's
Mm,
from. I mean, there's probably not a lot of people where he's from at all in Alaska or where he lives.
no, no,
Um,
definitely not. Yeah.
Anyway, I had to tell that story and I got really excited because that's a fucking crazy tale. Hopefully
Definitely
someday we
something
can,
for a future
yeah,
future episode. Yeah.
tell it more in full. So anyway, I am going to talk about Emmett Corrigan. He
Hmm.
was uh he and his wife Ashley met in college in Utah, and they were like around the same age at the time that they got together. He was actually studying to be a doctor, but he didn't end up going that route. He eventually graduated with something else and then went on to go to law school. I don't really know what she did. I think she ended up just kind of like being a mom, because they were very young when they got married and they immediately started having kids. Now they are Mormons. They're part of the LDS
Hmm.
church. And
Okay.
so I think they were like in their very early 20s. I mean, they were still in college when they got married. They graduated college. The first set of kids they had were twins. They had identical twin
Okay.
daughters. They went on to have two
Wow.
more kids. The family struggled. They did what they could to keep afloat, but they, had a hard time with money until Emmett finally got his, passed the bar and became a lawyer. Now he was working for the city as a lawyer in some capacity. Um, so sorry, I just got a really loud text in my ear and it like made it so I couldn't think straight. So sorry, you couldn't hear it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, guys, I apologize.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so I can't even I can't even uh okay. I don't even know where I was. So anyway, he was working for the city doing some sort of like lawyer, lawyer work. He was a lawyer, but then he decided to do like criminal cases on the side for himself. So he decided to
Hmm.
open like a little practice on the side, and he got himself an office and he started taking on cases. Now, he was getting overwhelmed with work because he couldn't do all the work by himself. Also, I forgot to tell you, this is in Idaho, where they moved. So after
Okay.
they graduated college in Utah, they moved up to Idaho. Rob gets these jobs, whatever. So now he's got his own practice, but he needs help. So he asks one of his coworkers from, the bigger city law firm that he's working for, do you know anybody that can help me? I need a paralegal. And this woman says, "Oh yeah, I know a woman. Her name is Candy Hall. She's got like multiple years experience. She's very good at what she does. She's great. She's actually looking for work." So she connects these two and they start working together and things go really, really well. Now, again, at this point, Emmett is like 28. There are four kids in, he and Ashley. Ashley's a stay-at-home mom and Candy is 40 years old. Now, Candy is married to Rob Hall. They'd been together for years. They had two teenage daughters. Rob took a job as a computer specialist for the ADA, or Ada, I should say, the Ada County Sheriff's Office. And they were having a great life in Idaho. Now, Candy and Emmett here, as you can guess, they hit it off a little too much. Ashley,
Hmm.
Emmett's wife, came out later. She did like endless interviews. Like she is
Yeah.
on like every show that will interview her about this, talking about this, and maybe that's how she heals from the trauma. I don't know.
Sure.
But she said the first time she met Candy, Candy was wearing over the knee boots and a mini skirt while working,
Whoa.
while working in the office with
A
Emmett.
scandalo.
Yeah, escándalo. Yes, very, very much. Mucho escándalo. Is that what you would say?
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
I'm trying to brush up my Spanish because all I have is like dirty kitchen Spanish, that my coworkers all taught me. So trying to get better. In any case, so she was kind of like, yo, what the fuck? I mean, the Mormon version of that, which was like, gee golly, she's real, you know, looking
Oh
mighty.
gosh.
Yeah, this is a racy
Yeah.
outfit you got on there. But Ashley is secure in her marriage. She's like, this woman's like 12 years older than Emmett. She's married, whatever. I have nothing to worry about. Also, the couple then get pregnant. So now Ashley is pregnant with their fifth child. So she thinks, everything's going
Okay.
well. Emmett's starting to make money. Things are shaping up. Next thing you know, Emmett he's just never home anymore. He's just always working. He's working late, he goes in early, he's
Mhm.
just constantly busy, at work, quote unquote. And Ashley
Yeah.
believes him at first. The affair started in 2010, and she also got pregnant in 2010. And by March 2011, Ashley had decided to confront him, to confront Emmett and be like, "You are never home." But she didn't do it in like a confrontational, mean way. She cooked him a beautiful dinner. She
Mm,
got the kids like to bed early. She was like, "I want us to like spend time together and heal our marriage." So she approached
mhm.
it from a place of love, not from a place of where I would
Sure.
do it. Would be like, "I'm going to
Yeah.
fucking kill you."
I would
Um,
just, like, casually throw some of their shit, like, out the window on
yeah,
fire, like, just start from that place. That's
yeah.
probably where I would
Changing
begin.
locks, slashing tires, things like that. Like
Yeah,
that's
I
me
would start
energy.
from a place of violence, yeah.
Yes, but her idea was to go from a place of love, which I do respect even if I don't understand it. So
Sure.
she it's March 11th, 2011. She's like some months pregnant or just had the baby. Either way, like he needs to be home with his family. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he needs
yeah.
to be there. And he comes home briefly and she is like, "Please stay home. Please stay home. Please stay home with me." And he's like, "You're freaking out. I don't want anything to do with this." She said he got a text on his phone and he's like, "I'm gonna go to Walgreens." Which, like, what the fuck?
Mm,
Like, you got a text on your phone and suddenly have to go to Walgreens? Like, he's just blatant. Like, he doesn't even fucking care if she knows at this
yeah, it's
point,
getting dicey, yeah,
He
and
is
also, I was just pregnant. I know when you're pregnant, you need someone to, like, bring you snacks all the time, and you wanna, like, sit down.
yeah,
I can't imagine being pregnant with a whole bunch of kids, so, like, she really needs help.
yes. Yeah, she does. 4 other kids and a newborn. It's just, or I can't remember if it was right before or after she had the baby, but in any case,
She needs
you know,
help.
she needs help. So, it's March 11th, she begs him to stay. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm going out to Walgreens." Now, Rob and Candy, like I said, thing seemed to be fine until Candy takes this job with Emmett. Rob starts noticing the same thing. He is, getting suspicious. He's not a Mormon man. He's not giving people the benefit of the doubt. He's pissed. He's straight up
Yeah,
jealous, and he's saying to her, "I don't fucking like this Emmett guy. I don't like that you work for him. I don't want you to work for him." And Candy's like,
don't like it.
"Everything's fine. We're not having an affair, whatever, whatever." Just trying to appease him, lie to him, whatever. Now, one of their teenage daughters at least still lived with them. And on the night of March 11th, she apparently drove by Walgreens and saw Candy's car right around 9 p.m. and told Rob, "Hey, mom's at Walgreens. Do you happen to know why?" This is Rob's story, at least.
Mm.
I'll tell you in a minute why I think that's bullshit. So, Rob,
Also, can I say last week your story involved a Walgreens, and this week your story heavily
oh
involves
my
a
God,
Walgreens?
I didn't even think about that.
It's a very
Dude,
weird
what's up,
theme, yeah.
Walgreens? I'm doing Walgreens murders as
Walgreens.
like a sub like a
The murders of
subtopic.
Walgreens, yeah.
That should actually be
Yeah, it's
one.
very niche.
I'm sure there's more.
Yeah.
That'd be funny, like murders of
Oh, yeah, oh,
Walmart.
yeah.
That would be a rich topic, I bet. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
in any case, so we're back at Walgreens. Rob pulls into the parking lot. He sees Candy's car. He pulls in right next to it in his truck, and he goes into the Walgreens. You can watch footage of him going in. This is a man on a mission. He is looking
Mm,
for his wife, and he is not
yep,
fucking happy. Like the look on
okay.
his face, oof, dude is not stoked. So he goes, she's not in there. He goes and sits in his truck. Emmett and Candy, about 30 minutes later, roll up because they were out somewhere doing something, you know, out somewhere doing
Having
something.
adult activities.
Yes. So they come back, they get out of the vehicle, and Rob gets out of his. And a confrontation takes place, and Candy is walking back to her car trying to like get out of it. Just like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want anything to do with this." And she says, as her back is turned, she hears pop, pop, and then a second later, pop. And she turns around, and Emmett and Rob are both on the ground. Now she
Ooh,
runs over to them both because they're right next to each other. She later told police that she picked the gun up and threw it because it was found really far away. She said she just
Okay.
did this in a panic, like, oh my God, get the gun away in case one of them gets up and tries to get the gun again. It was just, which is not a dumb thing to do, like, get the gun away. If somebody's shooting
Definitely.
somebody, get it away.
Not a bad move.
No, she then calls 911. The call is crazy, extremely fucking frantic. And police arrive and they find that Emmett has been shot once in the chest and once in the head. And Rob also had been shot in the head, but the bullet basically just mostly grazed him. So Emmett is pronounced dead at the scene. They take Rob in, and there's an interview that you can hear with him when he's in his hospital bed, and they ask him what happened. And his voice is extremely slow and groggy. One might
Mm,
say overly slow, overly groggy.
okay.
One might say it sounds like bullshit. And
Okay.
they ask Rob, who is, on drugs or whatever, what happened. And he says, my daughter told me that she saw my wife's car at Walgreens. So I went down there. I looked for her. I saw them get out of the car. Basically tells them the story. And he says, we
Mhm.
started fighting. I had my gun on me because I always carry my gun. Emmett grabbed it and shot me. And so
Okay.
I shot him in self defense. Now, police are like, okay. And then they say, do you remember, shooting him, whatever? And he's like, no, I don't remember. Because of course he doesn't, right? So meanwhile, they're interviewing Candy, asking her about the relationship, and she fucking denies it. And you can watch her police interview online.
Mm,
I will admit that like my bullshit meter isn't always like the best. Like I'll believe people when I probably shouldn't. But the second that she said she wasn't in an affair, I was like, liar, liar, I can tell you're fucking
yeah.
lying. Like
Yeah.
the way she said it was so obviously a fucking lie. It was wonderful. I felt really like, "Oh my god, I caught it. I caught a liar lying."
Yeah,
Like I could tell. Made me
for
feel good.
sure.
Anyway, so Rob can't remember what happens. Candy says they're not in a relationship. Finally, the police get Candy to admit that they were having an affair. They talk to Ashley. Ashley's like, "Yeah, he's been gone a lot. Like I didn't know what was happening, but whatever." She's also fucking devastated because her husband was just murdered. She's 29 years old with 5 fucking kids, no
Yeah,
job.
that's insane.
Insane. So police put the scene together because they don't believe Rob for good reason. And what they find is that Emmett actually wasn't shot at point blank range. He was shot from 2 to 3 feet away, which wouldn't happen if he had had control of the gun and fired it at Rob first. So what Rob said, oh, I don't remember, but he remembered enough to make up a fake fucking story, right? So what they realize
Yeah.
is that Emmett never had control of the gun. There was no residue on his hands. There was no indication of that. They also speculate, and I agree with them, that Rob never intended to kill himself. So what Rob did was he shot Emmett twice and then turned the gun on himself. But what they think he did was he did that so that he could claim he doesn't remember anything, so that he could say he has like amnesia, right?
Mm, right.
But this didn't work. So they arrest him for murder and he got convicted of second degree because even though he followed Candy to the Walgreens, because here's the thing, he said his daughter told him, but when police went into his car, he had, and this is such a like 40-year-old man thing to do, especially in like 2011, he had printed out a ton
Mm,
of emails between
mm,
Emmett and
oh,
Candy that were like pretty irrefutable proof that they were in like a sexual relationship because
also, if you're printing an email, you are over 40.
yeah, and you're also
Yeah.
you're gonna show somebody something. You've got proof,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, for
If it's
sure.
printed, it's proof. So, he had a ton of their emails in his car, which makes me think that, like, maybe his daughter didn't tell him and he just straight up followed Candy. He just knew to follow her and did, and then waited for her. But even though he had, followed her, brought the gun with him, all of that, he was charged with second-degree murder. He was given 30 years, and he's not eligible for parole until 2028 when he'll be what will he be at that point? Like in his late 60s or early 60s, something like that. Candy, for her part, you know, you're not going to go to jail for being a cheater. However, she did get arrested for embezzling a fuck ton of money from the employer she had before she was working for Emmett, which makes me wonder if that's why she was looking for a
Mm,
job when she met Emmett. And also,
interesting.
Candy cannot keep her fucking nose clean. She's stealing money from one employer, having an affair with the other. Like this woman just wants to
Yeah.
be she wants to do bad, you know. So, I don't know if
Yeah,
she
she
how
can't
long
stop.
can't stop, won't stop. Yeah. So I don't know if she ended up in
No.
prison for that or what, but she definitely got arrested for it and has had her name like dragged, absolutely dragged through the mud after this. Which fair.
Oh, yeah, it's muddy. It's
Yeah.
muddy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ashley, also I'm just gonna put it out there. I know I told you this candidly before we started recording, but I'm not a fan of Ashley either, the wife. Um, I just
Mm.
feel like I understand that she wants to heal and that she's doing what she can. Um, you know,
It's a lot of
but
publicity though
a
for
lot of publicity. There's a lot of well-timed tears in her interviews. There's a lot of platitudes about how
mm,
she wished she had died, so that her kids so she didn't have to see
oof.
her kids suffer. And I'm like, well, that's selfish. I understand you're trying to sound like
It's weird.
a giving mother, but you actually sound really selfish. Anyway,
Yeah.
she now sells courses online on her own website for how to like grieve, how to be a single mom. She has almost
Okay.
61,000 followers on Instagram. So,
Okay. Probably
turn
monetizing that too, you know?
yeah, yeah, monetizing the tragedy, which like that's fine. Um, I mean, honestly, like she deserves something and she didn't have a job, she's got to make money somehow.
Right.
And
Yeah,
she
lots of
is
lots of housewife type ladies kind of fucking come up with that kind of hustle. That's why they get into MLMs too, because
yeah.
they can do it from home.
Yeah, yeah. Is this like a trauma MLM forming? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really
Oh yeah.
terrible. People are gonna leave us bad reviews for making
We
fun of
gotta
her.
do MLM
Listen.
murders, by the way.
Oh, that's such a
There's at
good
least
one.
4.
There totally are. Oh my god.
There's at least 4.
Uh
Yeah.
anyway, I really hope the best for her and her kids. She's not my kind of person, but that doesn't make her like a bad person. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way when I was doing all of my research, kind of learning about her. But
Yeah.
she was absolutely the victim. She did nothing wrong. She had her fucking life turned upside down. And I really do hope, and it does seem like she remarried, had more kids, and it seems like her life is going well. And I do wish the best for her, but I just want to call that out. Um, anyway, that's my story. I feel like I told it at like breakneck
Wow.
speed. So I
No,
apologize.
that was a lot. There's a lot. There's 4 people and like a lot of nefarious
Yeah,
fuckery
yeah,
to keep up with.
yeah.
And Walgreens again.
I know. That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My gosh.
I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize that the connection there. So thank you for catching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will proceed with my case, but I wanted to mention that my cat is drooling on me. Um, so when she gets really snuggly, she starts drooling on me. It's really cute.
Mine is literally right next to me doing donuts in my bed and like jumping and running in
Mm,
and out of here like violently. And I
that's the
was
cat report.
yeah, so hopefully I didn't sound distracted doing this because I absolutely was. So,
Yeah, if
yeah.
you see my head go out of view, it's because I'm kissing her on her little head.
Oh,
Um,
she's cuties.
she's really cute. Her head just begs to be kissed, you know.
I feel
So,
that. My cat really does not like to be kissed. Um,
mm,
he is
Luna literally starts purring the more you kiss her. Like she's
no,
very cute.
he doesn't like to be
She's
picked
very
up.
very
He doesn't
cute.
like to be kissed. He'll sleep with me, but it has to be like if I move too much, he gets up.
Mm.
Anyway, there's a fucking psycho right there. See him cleaning himself. All
We
right,
need to
what
post pictures of our cat so people can like
I know,
envision who we're
I know.
talking about.
We fucking talk about
You
him so
know,
much
the
at this point. Yeah.
the assistant sound recording engineers of
Yeah.
the podcast.
He's definitely
Okay.
providing background
Um,
noise. Okay, sorry, go on.
that's okay. This is a wild as fuck story of Todd Mullis. I said the
Ooh.
Mullises.
Okay.
This happened in Earlville, Iowa in 2018. I would kind of be surprised if you didn't know this. It's also a very well known, like it's on Dateline 48 hours, like every single show.
I don't know it in
So
name,
this
but
is kind of
often I know it like once you get it to it.
you'll know it as you hear it. Yeah,
Right,
I
right,
think.
right, right.
And I picked this topic in part because I was like thinking of this case. So
Oh, nice. Okay, I
I
love
got
that.
dibs. Todd and Amy Mullis, I think Amy's 39, Todd's like 40, 41.
Okay.
They at this time had a pig farm and Amy worked as a nurse.
Okay.
Together they had 3 kids. There's family photos. I didn't like describe a whole lot about the family, but I just wanted you to know that there's family photos where everyone is in matching camo outfits. So that should tell you a little bit about this crew here. There's definitely also pictures with Amy posing with like a big dead like longhorn type of deer type thing, right?
Okay, so they're living a
So it's
life
not
very different from ours.
yeah, they're Iowan,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's what they're doing. Todd was described by everyone as a hardworking farmer and like family man to the outside. However, like there's also going to be people, as we'll hear, who knew better about how he was in his home
Mhm.
life. Um, the Mullis's marriage had gone through a lot of rough times. 5 years earlier, Amy cheated on Todd. And in early 2018, here, she had been just freshly cheating again as she was carrying on an affair with a man named Jerry Fraser, who was a
Mhm.
married father of 2 who worked as the field manager on the farm.
Okay.
Um, and Todd had gone through her texts and discovered the relationship that way. So that's always messy. And the Amy and Todd, however, decided to like make the marriage work. They decided to go to counseling, and as part of a kind of deal to make amends for her infidelity,
Mhm.
Todd demands that she quit her job as a nurse and stay at home working on the farm so he can keep an eye
An
on
eye
her.
on her. Yeah. Which, like,
So
okay, honestly, like, just break up. Like, if
just
that's
break up.
where we're at,
Just
like,
break
just
up.
break up.
Yeah.
Just fucking break up, bro. Just, like,
Yeah, that's rough to be like, quit your whole ass career. Like, if you can't trust someone to have a job, you shouldn't be with them.
yeah, and
Um,
even if kind of in a way a little bit you maybe have a point, you're also like, that's too much. Like, it just break up.
but the
Fucking
point is
break
you can't trust
up.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, so
so
that's
just
it.
stop.
Yeah, agree.
But by
Agree.
many accounts, Todd never got over the cheating the first time, and he really tightly controlled Amy. He kept track of her movements. He timed her when she left the home. He's like a super abusive, controlling dude. Amy confides in her friends over the years that she's not happy in the marriage. So she's cheating, which is not good to do, but she's also, I think, doing it out of a place of like being deeply unhappy to begin with
And
and
feeling
feeling
trapped.
controlled and
Yeah,
yeah, controlled and
for sure.
abused. And she's trying to find something else.
Right.
Um, and some people also kind of like need to do that to like leave, I think. Like they have to do that to like get one foot out the door.
Yeah, they have to, like, wreck it. They have to burn the bridge.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Burn it
totally.
down. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So November 10th, 2018 here, the family was performing, their myriad farm duties that they have. Having a farm is not fucking chill. It's very intense.
No.
Like you have a lot of shit to do.
I have, like, a
A lot
garden
of
and I'm, like, overwhelmed, you
a lot
know?
of poop to pick up, but all the animals require a
Yeah,
lot of
dude.
servicing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so Amy goes to one of the large barns to retrieve a pet carrier because she was going to round up a litter of kittens because I guess Todd was going to run some like crazy machinery and she wanted to like keep them safe.
Mhm.
So she's getting a pet carrier. She had been having dizzy spells, reportedly, I'll say, and
Mhm.
he advised her going to get the carrier, but she's like, "No, I'm going to go. It's fine." She had to go up on a ladder to get it, so he didn't want her doing that, but she does want to.
Mhm.
Um, After he doesn't see Amy emerge or the carrier or anything, he sends his son Tristan, I believe it's like 13, to go get it, to go see what's up.
Mhm.
And so Tristan then enters the barn and finds his mom's body. Amy is face down with a massive corn rake, which essentially looks like a big pitchfork, sticking out of her back.
Okay, so we're not framing this as an accident.
Oh, Cindy, we are.
What?
Get ready. This shit's dumb.
No. Get ready, this
Mm.
shit's dumb. Yeah, it fucking is. Good god.
So, what does Todd do? He gets the family truck, takes the fork out of Amy, throws her on top of their son in the passenger seat, and drives.
Oh, that's horrific,
Um,
though.
So his mom's bleeding, dying body is on top of him. Yep.
On top of him.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
not a good call.
He
Not a
then
good choice.
he called 911 on the way.
Okay.
But we're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Todd says right away to the authorities that his wife must have fallen on the fucking rake.
Mhm.
And right away, investigators, when they are able to check out Amy's injuries, find this suspicious because she dies of 6 wounds to her body, and there
Mhm.
are 4 fucking prongs on the rake.
Okay. So she fell on it a couple of times? Like, what exactly happened here?
The area of the barn also had, like, very few blood drops, very little blood around it, so it's like, is this really where, she first was impaled on the rake? Like,
Right.
what happened?
Mhm.
When detectives first interviewed Todd, he says their marriage was fucking fantastic. They had no issues. Um,
Yeah, they're not gonna check on that. Like, come on.
nothing at all.
Come on.
Um, yeah, so when we go to Todd is obviously arrested pretty soon and charged with Amy's murder. And I'm gonna go through all the evidence that for which they do this,
Okay.
which they present at trial. So the prosecution brings up a medical examiner at trial who mentions the whole 6 wounds issue.
Mhm.
Um, they also find that she had a lot of blunt force injuries to her hands, face, and knees, which is like interesting.
Yeah, where'd those come
Um,
from?
yeah, and their son Tristan gave remote video testimony and said that he was with his father that whole day, essentially providing him an alibi. And he testified that his mom often had dizzy spells while performing duties on ladders. So that's like possible that she could have
Mm,
fallen.
okay, and then got up and fell again, but okay. Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
But upon further questioning on cross, it becomes clear that there were actually times where Tristan was not with his father that day, and his statements kind of start to fall apart. He says he can't remember how long he was apart from his father, that there was definitely like a few expanses of time. So to me, it
Hmm.
feels like he was told to say one thing, and then
Mhm.
over time, his conscience got kind of cracks in it, where he was like, okay, there was a little bit of time.
I'm also just wondering, why is he covering for him?
Yeah,
You know?
it's very interesting. This Todd guy, this dad has a very fear-inducing, like,
I was gonna s
patriarchal ruling over the house with the iron fist type of vibe. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I
I
bet
think
it's
he could
something
be
like
afraid.
that.
Yeah, and feeling obligated, I think, to his dad is a real thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, so the story kind of breaks down. And despite this kind of tentative alibi,
Mhm.
Todd, is clearly the case is clearly being made here that he killed Amy over the infidelity, and also because Amy was planning on asking him to get a divorce, like she was over the marriage in general because of his abusive behavior.
Fair.
And Todd, if he found that out, it would have been fucking over. She
Right.
actually told friends that she was scared of Todd, and if Todd ever found out about her wanting a divorce, that she would end up disappeared. That's what she said.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, she also told a different friend, if I come up missing, have them look at our new timber, like, pile of wood.
Yeah,
So
ugh,
honestly, that's a lot to not only think your husband might kill you already a lot, but to also actively be thinking about where he might hide your body.
yeah,
Like, that's heavy.
yeah. Like, Jesus. But, of course, according to him, everything was great, so why would she even say
Mhm.
these things?
Everything's fine. Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Uh, they question why Todd would have sent Tristan to go look in the red shed in particular, rather than like taking up the search himself or conducting a wider search. Like, why would she still be getting the pet carrier after I think like quite a bit of time had passed, like a half hour or something? Why would she
That's
still be in the red barn?
that's, like, extra evil to send your kid.
Mhm.
That's a thing a
Here,
lot
have
of
some
people
trauma.
do. Yeah,
They do.
people
They
do
do that.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go
fucked.
find your mom's body or dad's body,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's, like, a thing, and I feel like
It is.
it's almost like people I mean, obviously, they don't give a fuck about their child or anybody, but I feel like they
Yeah.
do it to try and be like, "Well, obviously, it wasn't me because 'cause I'd never send my kid to find that," you know? And it's like,
Mhm. No.
obviously, you fucking would," you know?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So they also question why he didn't just stop and call 911 right away, why he chose to take the rake out of her back and go to the hospital,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and call 911 kind of as an afterthought.
Right.
And his defense, he said he was just in quote unquote action mode, and he's just a doer. He just does.
This guy's a
That's what he said.
doucher.
Oh,
Like,
he is. Yeah.
oh, he is.
Um, oh, he is.
What a
So
fucking
the
idiot.
prosecution, and this is a rare case too, where you don't feel bad for the person you got cheated on. Like, I don't
Yeah.
condone cheating, but in this case, you're like, I don't super feel
You're
bad.
like, I don't really care. Like, you're a terrible human.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
So the prosecution also presents that the camera footage, they had cameras all over this farm.
mhm.
The camera footage from right around that fucking red shed that should have captured people's movements from that day was mysteriously gone and obviously deleted by someone.
Huh. I wonder who.
hmm on the stand, Todd says that the footage was probably deleted when his cats, trying to find a warm spot to sleep, knocked the camera from the window ledge, which had a heater next to it. So they're trying to get to the warm ledge, and they
Mhm.
kicked the camera off, and it just happened to click delete on just that little bit of
That
footage.
one little file,
Um,
and it just happened to be that one time, and it just
blaming the
happened to
cats.
be yeah, this is fucking ridiculous.
They also present some very suspicious web searches that Todd made. These are great. That included quote unquote thrill of the kill, killing unfaithful women, characteristics of cheating women, what
Oh,
happens to cheaters in history.
well, that's just weird.
hmm Uh, he claims on the stand that he didn't make these searches, and on the same iPad, there were searches for wedding dresses and Pinterest, so like girly things, clearly implying Amy did some of the searching. So it's possible, I guess, that she could have done the searches, and perhaps she's worried about being an unfaithful woman that's killed
Perhaps. I mean, she's
because she
obviously worried about
expressed
being
that.
killed. Yeah,
She
so
said that, yeah.
yeah.
So that's it's possible, but yeah, they're both using the fucking iPad though.
I also don't think you need the iPad. That's not like the thing that's gonna
No,
convince
it's
me.
the icing on the cake. It's the icing on the
Yeah,
cake, yeah.
yeah.
They also allege on the 911 call that you can hear Todd, as he's performing CPR on Amy, whisper to himself, quote, "Go to hell, you cheating whore."
Oh my god, dude, you couldn't even hold it in, like, on the fucking
Ooh.
call? Now I
Yeah,
wanna hear
and
that call.
I I went and listened to it. By the way, you can watch this whole trial on YouTube, the entire fucking thing.
Ugh,
It's like a
no,
law
thank
crime
you.
channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can watch it. Um, and it does kind of sound like it, although I don't know if it's that thing where like that you're listening for it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Like, when people
it
put
is a
words
little
up
hard to
over the
make out,
same
but like when you're
sound,
listening.
it's like yeah,
hmm
I don't know.
But if you're listening for it, it's like, yeah, that it's possible. It does kind of sound like he said that. It's not totally off base.
Yeah,
Um, so who knows?
yeah.
Um, the defense alleges that she was murdered, but it wasn't Todd who did it. And apparently, this is a big point of contention later for Todd because he wanted them to stick to the accident story that she fell on the rake. But apparently, his defense team was like, we're not gonna.
We're
That's
not gonna
stupid,
insult anybody's
right?
intelligence by pretending that she fell on a rake
Yes.
twice.
Yes. So they
That's
point the finger instead at Jerry Frazier, that guy who she had the affair with.
okay,
He would have had access to the farm. He did work there, but there's no evidence really implicating him other than that.
okay,
No one like saw him there that day or anything.
okay.
Um, Jerry does take the stand. He talks about like really transparently about his relationship with Amy. He says that she expressed to him that she felt like a quote slave and a hostage in her marriage to Todd. Talks about how miserable she was.
That's really sad, actually. This is really
Yeah,
fucking sad.
it is.
Like,
Yeah.
we're laughing and making fun
Um,
of this guy, but, like, what he did is fucked, and, like, this
it
poor
is
woman did
fucked.
not deserve this.
And she's a mom, and her kids don't deserve it either.
Agreed.
The jury ended up finding Todd Mullis guilty of first-degree murder.
Yeah,
Um, a juror interviewed on the 48 Hour show about this would later say that even though there was some ambiguity at first among the jurors, they eventually like all said guilty because they just literally could not come up with another scenario besides Todd doing this. It's like not that many people were there, right? It's like him and the son.
right, and, I mean, I'm sure Todd is very upset because he's like, "Well, the defense admitted it was, murder," and it's like, "Bro, they could
hmm
admit it or not. Like, it doesn't change
Yeah.
that, like, that's what it is." And, like, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. She also said that oof. She's
Mhm.
yawning. She also said that Todd seemed really cold on the stand, which she did. I agree.
Yeah.
And his decision to not call 911 weighed heavily on her. Like, that's really shady behavior. Um, and
Yeah.
Todd, yeah, so that's fair.
Mhm.
Todd filed a motion for a new trial right away, claiming that his lawyers went against his wishes by saying she was murdered at all. He is still saying it was an accident. This motion was denied. Todd was sentenced to life in prison with no parole at the
Woo!
yeah, not no parole. It's
Mhm.
Iowa, they don't care.
Yep.
Before being sentenced, he gave a really douchey statement, basically saying, "Wham, wham, wham, what was me?"
Right.
He said he was a faithful and loving husband. He's like the best dude in the world. This is so unfair. He said this was a
Aw.
case. He
Aw.
said, like, I thought they were supposed to be like guilty, innocent to proven guilty, but this case has been more like guilty until proven innocent.
No, shut the fuck up. I'm a man of action. Like, this guy's
Man of
got a
action.
million of them,
Oh,
man. Ugh.
he's such a douche. He's such a fucking
The
douchebag. Oh
fucking
my god.
worst. Yes.
Yeah, you can just tell in the way, like, once you know one abusive dude, you hear another one talking in a totally different context, and you're like, you can clock him. You're like, yep,
Yeah.
you can just smell it on him.
Yep.
You know exactly what kind of guy this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
In April 2023, just a little kind of update, but not really.
Mhm.
Todd filed another appeal requesting a new trial once again. He argued that he didn't receive a fair trial the first time because one of the prosecutors was good friends with Amy, which is like, probably shouldn't have been the case, but hey. Um,
I don't really think it makes a difference if it's not like a
that's
juror.
it.
Like, who fucking cares if they were friends?
True.
Like, I don't
True.
it doesn't
Um,
they're not the one deciding. They're presenting a case. They can be as biased as they
right.
fucking want.
He that's true. He says that, yeah, that the prosecutor was biased, which is like, okay.
Well, yeah, they
Um,
are anyway.
yeah.
Like, that's kind
Yeah.
of what their thing.
Uh, in the appeal documents, he says once again her death should never have been classified as a murder. It was an accident. And he and it's like, also, like, my dude, you weren't fucking there. And if there's, how do you know someone didn't roll up and kill her out of the blue? You
Yeah,
weren't
like,
there, supposedly,
how are
right?
you fucking so sure it was an accident if you weren't present
Mm-hmm.
for it? Like, the whole thing is stupid. And also, he could have fired his defense team. He could have fired them if
Mm-hmm.
he really didn't want to take that path.
Yeah, he's just backpedaling after the fact. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Yeah, and then he also gave a douchey little statement in the 2023 document, questioning his son, for changing his statement. He
Mhm.
basically said, that, his statements were consistent until he went to live with his grandparents and got, like, time away from his dad. And his mother's parents hired him an attorney, and that's when his story began to change. And it's like, okay, honestly, yes, everything you're saying is true, but that works in the son's favor, because it sounds like the second he got away from your influence and your manipulation and got to be around, like, positive family members who, like, were, encouraging him to be honest, that's when his story
As soon
changed.
as he
Like,
wasn't afraid for his fucking life, he started to tell the
yes,
truth. Like, you're not helping yourself by pointing
yeah.
that out, stupid.
Yeah, he's essentially saying it's suspicious that it changed, or that it was the lawyers and the grandparents manipulating him. But it's like, no, I think it's the other way around. He was manipulated and pressured. Then he started to feel free to tell the truth.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just really shitty too to be like, my son questioning his son all these years later too. It's like, shit.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there's actually a decent amount of people online and groups and websites that agree that he's innocent, or that he should get a new trial at least, because
Wait, there
or that it
there
could have
are
been an
people?
accident. Yes. Yeah, oh yeah. Look at some comment sections. It's like, this guy didn't get a fair trial. This was an accident. And I'm like, he's just an average looking white
I
man
was just gonna say,
farmer.
like,
And so everyone online is like, he's been wronged, you know?
I guarantee you I could nail the demographics of the people in that group. Like, I
Yeah.
guarantee.
Exactly. Yeah,
Oh
you get it.
god.
But yeah, it's just some fucking wild murder, 'cause I can't think of another murder where there's a giant pitchfork as the
Yeah,
murder
that's
weapon.
pretty wild.
And at one point, I wanted to do, like, murders on the farm murders, so I already, like, knocked this out now, because
Yeah.
this would have been, like, top of the list for farm murders.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. So now we have 2 new
Pitchfork.
lists that came just from this episode. We've got
Mm.
Walgreens murders of Walgreens, which we might have to turn
Murders on
into,
Walgreens.
like, we have to turn, like, Walmart since we already did 2
You just
Walgreens
covered 2 big
murders.
Walgreens ones,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like, how many more could there be? But then also farm murders. So now we have
That's
those
actually
back
a fun
pocket
idea, though, just picking a random chain store and finding
covering
the murders that
murders.
happened
Just
there.
go
Murders
there.
of CVS, murders of
Target.
Target murders. Yeah, I know
No,
there's
I
been a
should
couple
have.
Taco Bell murders.
Oh,
Actually,
I would fucking be so upset if I fucking
there's like
died
a
at a Taco
famous
Bell.
there's a
Yeah,
famous
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Taco Bell murder,
Killed
right?
like 11
Um,
people or something.
there's a couple, and there's
There's
a
a
famous
few, yeah.
McDonald's massacre.
Oh,
Which
that
I
one's
think we
really
already
sad. I
covered.
covered that. Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah,
fucked
yeah,
up. That one really bugs me.
yeah.
Anyway,
Um,
anyway, okay,
there
so
we go.
there we go.
Don't cheat, but also mostly don't murder. That's more important.
Way more important. Like, listen, we've all done things we're not proud of. I've cheated on people. I'm really glad I didn't get murdered for it, okay? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, mostly when I was younger, like younger.
I mean, I'm glad the person you cheated on wasn't like, a raging psychopath.
Right.
Or
No,
or
I mean,
were they?
no, yeah, they weren't murder
At
level, I'll
least
tell you that.
not a murderous one, yeah, at
Yeah, they
least.
weren't
Um,
not like a good person, but anyway, well, there you go, guys. There's round one. Um, we'll be back with round two soon. As you can tell, we're getting back on track. The weeks, things are
mhm,
starting to normalize and chill out and make things better. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for we got more reviews on Spotify. Thanks guys. Keep it up. We appreciate it.
mhm.
Please also share us with your friends. We haven't been tagged on Instagram in a little while and it makes me sad. So
Oh, tag us.
tag
Yeah.
us, guys. Yeah, that's it. I've just we have a new Patreon out as
Oh,
of
yes.
before this comes out. So if you are a patron, enjoy. If you're not, you can join us. And yeah, we're also going to start doing more Patreons like solo to get a more consistent stream because we found one of the hardest things and the barrier to us actually hosting is finding time for the two of us to get on Zoom and record together. So for some of these, like I was doing solos while Diva was on maternity leave, as it were. And so, we're both considering doing that because the research gets done and then we're just trying to find a time to record it. So this will cut that out. So we'll have more content coming up there as well. So if you do want to join us, it's patreon.com/twisted listers. Join us on Instagram, just, all the stuff. It's in our show notes. You can find
And
us.
we take suggestions too for Patreon. So if like there's a one case you want a deeper dive on and you want to subscribe, we will reward you for your money with your own pick,
Yeah,
perhaps.
it's like a custom
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
just for you. Yeah, so
Happy to
do
do it.
that. Do that, guys.
I'm currently trying to think of another one to start.
I know, me too. There's some like really big ones, but I'd love some obscure stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Thanks so much, everybody. And until the next half of this fucked up topic,
Stay.
off our
Bliss.
Yes.